What did you think of the way Terrence played today as opposed to the way he'd been playing lately?
Well, that's the Terrence Jones we know. He took that last three, which made me angry, but short of that, I mean, I wanted him to get a couple more rebounds, but just getting him to be aggressive offensively, make baskets, make free throws, you know, make that three at the end of the second half, or first half. I mean, that's who he is. But I told him after the game, now you work even harder than you've been working. I said, do you want to go back to where you are? He goes, no. Now you better work harder than you have been working. The other guy that I thought was outstanding, and this was a hard game to be a point guard. That zone they were running is confusing. And we had to do 4 or 5 different things to try to get the ball where we were trying to get it. Marcus T played well. They pressed. Our press attack, our spacing was better. Instead of him trying to beat it, he was letting us try to beat it. And that's the difference. And I think now, you know, you look at us, we're hard to press. Every guy can handle it. And at the end of it, we got Spider-Man under the basket that you can't leave. And so I thought Marcus T, and I just told him, you just have to continue to listen. Play how we're trying to get you to play. You're going to score without trying to score. I will say this, and I don't have any issue saying it. If there's a better layup shooting point guard in the country, I want to see it. He's as good a layup shooting player at that position as there is in the country. And you know what? Take a bunch of those. Don't get them blocked. At the end of the half, he drove in. It doesn't get blocked. We tip, don't get. It's all good. So I was really happy for him. A couple other guys didn't play up to snuff, but that's fine. You know, they're not. We haven't really had a team full kind of game yet, but we'll see.
John, talk a little bit more about Marcus. What did you also think of his defense today?
Not bad. He still didn't come up with enough balls. You know, he was better. He made a couple breakdowns. You know, and I'm trying to get him to play that perfect game. And let me say this. It's really funny. You guys, here he is. He's a freshman. He's played in 16 college games, 15 up until this game. And because he wasn't playing perfect, he had 4.5 assists to 3 turnovers. That ain't bad. And if he passed it a couple more times, he'd be averaging 6 assists to 3 turnovers, which is perfect. He's a good free throw shooter. He stops on defense, which is typical of a freshman. And he's playing in Kentucky for the second-ranked team in the country that probably could easily be undefeated. And everybody's saying he's just a disappointment. What are you talking about? The kid is doing fine. Now, I expect more out of him, but you shouldn't. I'm coaching him. I mean, he is doing fine. And today, like I said, I mean, what he did today, he's capable of doing, but he's got to play within what we're saying, how we need him to play.
Coach, knowing what Darius Miller can do, is it frustrating to sometimes watch him play like he did today?
But every once in a while, that's what he is. Just a passive. They trap, he loses it. Has open shots, doesn't take them. Drives to pass instead of being strong and score. And I mean, he wants to do well. He's not like out there like he doesn't care. It's just there's something that switches on and off with him. And when it's on, he's as good as anybody in the country. When it's off, oh my goodness. I mean, it's, you know, and at the end of last year, the reason we made the run we made was Darius Miller. The other guys played okay and did what they had been doing. Darius Miller took it up 2 notches and MVP of the conference tournament. I mean, he just took over. Made plays, made shots, defended, rebounded, toughness. That's what we need out of him. But he wasn't, you know, like Duran was, what they did late in the game is to make it close where they got it to 12, 11, whatever it was. They went at Duran 5 straight times. And he got scored on. So I said, you're out. And we went up 20. And he said, I'm ready to go back. I said, I'm not ready to put you back. We're up 20 now. And so, you know, those guys, they've got to go and guard and get balls and do those things. And they're capable of it.
John, yesterday Terrence said he was going to follow your orders and concentrate on rebounding. Points weren't important, but it looked like he was much more assertive offensively.
He flew up and down the court. When you run that fast and you try to play that hard, you'll be aggressive offensively. When you are passive on defense and passive going for balls, and you don't want to mix it up, there's no possible way you can be aggressive offensively. It doesn't work that way. Your body doesn't switch on one end and switch tougher on the other end and go soft on it. Doesn't. You're either always tough or you're always soft. And he hadn't been wanting to mix it up. He didn't at Indiana. Now you saw him get in there. Early in the game, he was a little bit shaky, but after he got it going, he was terrific. I wanted him to get about 2 or 3 more rebounds, but I'll tell you, he played well. Now let me say this, Kyle Wilshire played well too. And we're starting to figure out how to play defensively with Kyle on the floor. They had some matchup issues that I didn't like, and I took him out. But the reality of it is, the kid can score baskets. And in the time he played, he gets 5 points, and they were big points. They were points to get us up to 20, which is kind of taking the wind out of their sail. And let me say this about South Carolina. Didn't go away, are playing the way they have to play to win, have a lot of young kids that are playing well. They will win games in our league. There's no question they're going to win games. That is a hard game in South Carolina for any of us to win. It'll be a tough one. Ellington just coming back, you could see he was a little bit, the cobwebs a little bit. You have to understand that other ball was oblong, and this one is round. And he just left that field not 5 days ago, and now is playing this one and still out there controlling the game and doing the things he did. So you give him another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month, you're going to see a different player.
Coach, in the back here, in the games leading up to this for Terrence, how much of it was him trying to get comfortable with his shooting finger?
No, none of it. That's all. He can say that if he wants to, but it's coming in, taking everything up a notch in practice, playing harder and playing with unbelievable intensity, sprinting that floor. We started doing 3-second runs for our team. They get on the baseline, they have 3 seconds to get the foul line. You know how fast you have to run? And you know what I said? That's how you run in the game. It's hard when my thumbs are up and I'm kind of doing it like that to get 3. No, you can't. Your just eyes are open and you're flying. You got 3 seconds to get. If you don't make it, we go again. Now we did that 3 or 4 different practices. Now you saw him flying down that court today. It changes your mentality. You know what? Your finger doesn't hurt so much anymore. You're playing so hard. You're mixing it up. You're going after it. I mean, he's a young man that, again, I love him to death. I told you, give him a week or 2 and he'd be fine. I'm saying the same thing about Marcus Teague. Now, we want Deron Lamb to step on it now. I want to see that motor running again like it was early in the year and late last year. Then you got those other guys, you know, we're not talking about Anthony. He just goes and gets his double-double, and Michael just dunks on people and guards everybody and comes up with every loose rebound. We don't even say anything about those two. Can you imagine that? And those two are like 2 warriors that we have right now.
John, you just talk a little bit more about Michael's play today and how you evaluate when he's good and when he's not. What do you look for that makes the difference?
To be honest with you, he's always good because he always plays hard. He always competes at a high level. He goes after every rebound, every ball. He doesn't command. He doesn't whine about not getting the ball offensively. Like today, he had 4 shots. Are you kidding me? A kid that plays that hard, wouldn't you complain? Like, give me the ball more? And the other guy that doesn't complain is Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis got 10 shots today, but most of them were dunks. I mean, you know, that's a big number for him to get 10 shots on this team. So those two are, you know, I just end up every once in a while, I go hug them, give them a kiss and tell them I love them. And that's what else you're going to say to them. They just bring it every time we play.
John, one other thing about Terrence, there was a play in this second half where Duran took a 3 from the left corner and Terrence beat everybody to the ball on the right corner.
Haven't seen that in a while. Haven't seen it in a while. I mean, I'm telling you, he did stuff that he's done in the past, and now he builds on this. This isn't like, okay, now I back up and I go put my toes up and eat Cheetos. Now I'm going to go work harder. I'm going to spend more time. I'm going to go harder. I'm going to lift. I'm going to spend extra time shooting. I'm not going back to where I was. You know, we've all been in that abyss, and you say, I'm not going back there. I know that.
John, you've talked about getting this team where it needs to be. I'm curious with freshmen, they played 100 games of AAU, but at this level, is there a wall?
Throw that out the window.
Is there a wall that they hit?
You know what we have to do with those 100 games? We have to reprogram them after those 100 games. So I wish they only played 50. So you're right, they play 100, but they're nothing like they're playing now.
But is there a wall mentally or physically they have to fight through at this level, the freshmen? At some point?
It's hard to listen to how you have to play, let someone present you. Because you want to present yourself, because you've always done it that way. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. This is how I played. And yeah, but everybody's saying you shouldn't be playing. Now they think you should be coming off the bench. Do you want them to keep saying that, or do you want to listen to me? Let me tell you how we're going to present you. Some guys argue that. I haven't had many. They look at it and say, you know what, if I listen to them, it works out well. It's worked out for everybody else, so maybe I should listen to them. They also know I'm about them. It's not about me. It's about them. So why wouldn't you listen to me? You're not smart? Must not be very smart, because this is about you, and I'm trying to help you, and you're going the other way and then hurting yourself. So most guys will listen, and this team has listened. But freshmen, you know, these kids are excited about playing. You know, I put on the board, we have 60 days. It's 59 now. 60 days when our season was 16 games, 8 days off, 8 practices the day after a game. How much can you do? And 60, practices the day before a game. So that means we have 12 practices, folks. And we're in postseason play. That's all we got. We have 12 practices. What are you tired about? You're either playing or it's the day before where we're getting ready for a game, and you know, this stuff goes so fast. Before we turn around, it's going to be March. And before we turn around, it'll be April. Still playing, hopefully. That's how it is.
John, you call a timeout less than 90 seconds into the game, and I wondered if it had anything to do with...
If I had more players, I would have subbed them all. And I've done that before, too. I think I did that in the NBA. It's probably why they fired me. But I subbed the whole team. Like, you think you're not playing? Then we'll play these 5. That start was not the kind of start we wanted. And I didn't want to get it out of hand right away and make it 7 or 9-0, and I have to call a timeout. So I just did it right away.
Was it an intensity thing, the grind?
Well, just how we started and what we gave up, and all of a sudden, you understand it's 4-0. Let's go. And so,
Thank you.
thanks.